Would I be the asshole if I tell my friend I don't like being around her kid? I, 32 male, have a female friend, 29 female, that has a kid. I am at the point where I want to tell her to not bring her kid around me. This will be difficult because the kid has grown really fond of me. The child is 4 years old, but I don't like how she's allowed to behave. She is still breastfeeding at that age, and she isn't properly potty trained. To clarify, she can sometimes use the bathroom on her own, but other times she just soils herself. She doesn't have any mental challenges. On top of that, she has a cell phone that she's glued to constantly. All of this annoys me, but since she's not my child, I don't comment. I mind my own business. The bigger problem is that this child cannot take no for an answer. When she's with her mother, she bullies her by crying hysterically until her mom gives in to whatever she wants. You might wonder how this affects me. Well, the child often cries hysterically for my laptop or smartwatch. I'm not rich, and I can't afford for a kid to break my things. Once, her mom left her with me briefly while she went to grab something from the car. During that short time, the child reached for my prescription glasses. When I refused to give them to her, she threw such a hysterical tantrum. The cries were so loud and gut-wrenching that people thought I had spanked her. Will I be the asshole if tell my friend I do not like being around her kid? Edit. For more context, she is a single mother and I have no romantic interest in her. Not the asshole for not wanting to be around this kid, she sounds like a nightmare. But I wouldn't say, your kid sucks and your parenting sucks, outright, even if it may be true. I'd approach it by telling your friend you'd prefer to try and schedule more time without the daughter around. If she pushes the issue, you don't have to get into details, but you can just say that being around her daughter is overstimulating and stresses you out. If that bothers her, she's probably not a great friend to begin with. I was in a similar situation, but I cut off the friend instead. I couldn't handle it anymore. She was a neglectful asshole and her kid was insufferable. I let her have it before I left, though, lol, she tried to hit me with the, "You don't have kids. You have no idea, lol," which fair, but I don't need to have kids to know what she was doing was lazy and neglectful. Well, that escalated quickly. Sounds like your friend is struggling with the challenges of parenthood. To be quite frank, it sounds like she is horrifically failing her child. Look, not the asshole, but, as she's your friend, you may want to ask her how she's coping and see if there's anything you can do to help. It's what I would do before anything else. Bluntly telling her not to bring her child around you will likely result in the dissolution of your friendship. Wait, a 4-year-old has a cell phone? That right there should have been a red flag. Not the asshole, but as others have said, tread carefully because people with kids don't take kindly to those of us without telling them what to do with their kid. If you talk to her, don't make it completely about the kid. Make it about you and being overwhelmed because you don't have kids, so you don't know how to take care of her properly. If she pushes back instead of talking to you like an adult, then she wasn't much of a friend to begin with. Good luck. The kid's 4 years old. If you don't like her, it's because her parents are doing a crappy job and you disapprove of that. Children reflect their parents. Why WBTA if you only said, "I don't like your child," instead of being honest about the specific issues? Not the asshole, yet be prepared to lose the friend. Won't be your fault, yet will be because of you. You creating your own boundaries within the friendship. This woman has way more to focus on than your friendship. Maybe she doesn't realize it yet. Maybe she uses her friendships to escape her kid one-on-one. Not really sure yet. There's stuff going on with a kid who breastfeeds at will. Peeing her pants all while using a cell phone. Something is off here. Unless you're in this friendship for something deeper, or a more committed relationship, it's best to draw the line sooner rather than later. Either way, she may see you as the $1. That would be easier than her facing the bigger issue at hand. Good luck. Person shrugging, medium light skin tone, female sign. Person facepalming, medium light skin tone, female sign. Victory hand, medium light skin tone. Am I the asshole for leaving my friend's wedding after they said no +1s but invited my ex with hers? I'm 25M and have been with my girlfriend for about a year. When I got the invite for my close friend's wedding, it said no +1s. I thought it was strange since I knew other people were bringing partners, but I didn't want to argue about it. At the wedding I saw my ex there, not only invited but also with her new boyfriend. I asked the groom about it and he said she's like family, so they made an exception. That really bothered me because my current girlfriend wasn't allowed to come, but my ex and her partner were. I stayed for the ceremony but left before the reception. Later the groom texted me saying I was being dramatic and making things about myself. I don't know if I handled it the wrong way, but it felt disrespectful to leave out my partner and still give my ex a special spot. Am I the asshole? Not the asshole. If you left quietly without making a scene, then how can you possibly have made it about yourself? It sounds like they wanted some kind of reaction from you and were bitter that you denied them that by leaving. I'd maybe create some distance from their people. Doesn't sound like she was invited as your ex, it just sounds like she's closer to the bride and groom than you are. In which case the fact she's your ex is kind of irrelevant. Perhaps her partner is closer to them than your girlfriend is. Personally, I think it's up to the bride and groom which partners they want at the wedding, and I don't really understand being offended by it. Not the asshole, you don't owe anyone anything. You can leave a party if you're offended. You didn't feel like celebrating, that's okay. Info. Was your ex's partner an actual +1, or are they also friends with the couple and just happen to also be in a relationship with your ex? A +1 is someone that isn't close enough with the bride and groom to be invited on their own, but who gets an invite because they're close to a guest. There's also the possibility though that the partner is close to the couple and would have gotten an separate invite even if they weren't with your ex. In that case it's not a +1, it's two individual guests who just happens to be dating. Do you know that that isn't the case for the partner and or any other partners attending? Not the asshole. You attended the ceremony, so not sure why the groom is so fussed. His wedding, his rules. Having said that, you don't have to stay if you feel offended. People aren't entitled to a +1 for a wedding, they are expensive. It's a little off that they allowed some people +1 and others not. Am I the asshole for refusing to give up our only bedroom for my mother-in-law to stay? Edit. Mill has said she wishes she were able to stay with us occasionally. While it would be beneficial for all if she were to stay here sometimes and as sometimes with her, we aren't pressuring her to stay with us. My husband's parents separated 6 weeks ago. Dad left mum for someone else. Obviously she is very upset about it and we have been supporting her as much as we can. She is in her 70s, lives 1.5 hours away and has never driven, so getting her to come to us has always been dependent on her and her husband traveling together. As husband and I are starting work again soon, we are wanting to encourage her to come to us more often by public transport, and her staying over would make things easier. Our house is small. We have one bedroom and no sofa bed. We suggested to her that we could swap our sofa in the living room for a sofa bed so that she could spend more time here. She was hesitant, so we suggested that we have a really good double air mattress that she could stay on in the living room, but again she was hesitant. She is healthy and fit, so there are no medical reasons why she couldn't sleep on it. My husband has now asked me whether we could give up our bed and bedroom for her when she stays and we sleep on the air mattress. He said it'll only be once or twice. Am I the asshole for saying that I don't feel we should? Though I do understand that it isn't ideal to sleep in the living room, we have offered her two solutions. I feel like we should do what we can to support, but should also have our own boundaries. He is disappointed and thinks it's selfish not to give her our bed. Not the asshole. That's crazy. He said it'll only be once or twice. Lol, yeah, famous last words. If she's the kind of person that would put out her hosts by taking their bed, it will absolutely not just be 1 or 2 times. I wouldn't gamble on this outcome. Sounds like she needs to stay in a hotel. Sometimes dependent women, when the support of their husband is taken away, will turn to their sons for the kind of support a husband would give. Some old-fashioned women want to transfer the old-timey responsibilities of a husband to that son. It is important for both the son and his mate to set up boundaries to keep that from happening. First it's the bed once a month. Then it's the bed every weekend. Then she moves in. Stop all of this now. It's your house too. You need to have a significant discussion with your husband, and maybe some planning. Your mother-in-law could benefit from living in a retirement or senior living community, and it can even be nearby, where she can visit you and then go back to her own bed. Not the asshole. Do what you want, but being healthy and fit in your 70s does not mean your back and joints are okay with sleeping on an air mattress or sofa bed. I am in my early 60s and even sleeping on a crap mattress makes my back ache the next day. There are futons and daybeds that are actually beds as well as working as couches. I would absolutely not sleep on an air mattress for an in-law. It's your house and your bed. Not the asshole. This is a husband issue if he thinks it's okay. Stop pressuring her to come stay with you and sleep on an uncomfortable bed. I'm half her age, and I'd be pissed if you kept pressuring me to come visit when you didn't even have a decent bed for her to sleep on. She may be healthy and fit, but that doesn't mean she has to be comfortable sleeping on plastic in the middle of your living room. I wouldn't be. You don't have to give up your bed, but leave the poor woman alone. Nah. Am I the asshole for wanting my brother to buy me out of my share of the house we both own that he lives in? Our dad died 5 years ago. My brother, 36 male, was looking to buy a house with his girlfriend at the time, and I suggested that he move into our childhood home as we both owned it and the mortgage had been paid off. I, 38F, am married and have my own house with my husband and our 2 kids. The deal was he was responsible for his bills and the property taxes since he was living there, and I have my own house to pay for. The problem is that he is not paying the bills. The water company has been sending the water bills to my house because he has not been paying them. I don't know the status of the other utilities, but I'm assuming they are not being paid either. But the biggest problem is the property taxes. He has not paid them in the 5 years he's lived there. The city could seize the house because of this and we would lose everything. This causes me a great deal of stress and I've sent him the forms for getting on a payment plan multiple times but he has not done it. I can't apply for the payment plan myself because I don't live in the house, even though we are equal owners. While this situation is less than ideal, I wanted to help my brother out. He has a lot of student debt and would have a hard time getting a mortgage on his own. Our mother died last week. Our parents were divorced. She heavily favored my brother and in her will she left her $500,000 house to solely my brother. I of course was hurt by this but it was her decision and I'm not going to do anything to contest it. He's planning on selling mom's house and using the money to pay off his loans and fix up our dad's house. I've had enough and want my brother to use some of the money to buy me out of our dad's house. It's worth half as much as our mom's house so he would still have plenty of money left over. Plus he has not had to pay any rent, mortgage for the last 5 years. This is another sticking point. Our dad's house is in rough shape and my brother stopped cleaning up after himself and his dog when he and his girlfriend broke up a few years ago. It's so bad he won't allow me to come in the house. Like not even to use the bathroom after dropping him off after doing some holiday shopping together. I'm hesitant to tell him how I feel because I'm worried he will get angry and it will destroy our relationship and he's the only family I have left. We originally said that when he decided to sell my dad's house I would get my share of the money but his plan is to stay there forever and I was okay with that because I felt like I was helping him out. But with the latest development with my mom's house and his refusal to pay the taxes and the real possibility of losing the house to the city I just want out. I worry that I may be seen as vindictive because of the situation with our mother but the biggest issue for me is his refusal to pay taxes. Force a sale on dad's house. Broke and live in mom's or sell it for smaller house. You won't get much from dad's but it is better than nothing in debts. Edit. Also let them cut off the water. You need a lawyer, not Reddit. If you don't go to the court to force the sale of the house or force your brother to buy you out, you are going to lose the house in a tax sale. You need to get a lawyer and tell your brother that if he doesn't buy you out, you will force the sale of the house. Are you high? Get a fucking attorney and end this nonsense. NTA, get off Reddit, get a lawyer, contest the will and make him pay his fair share. This post makes me both mad and sad. Sad because you are reluctant to ruin your relationship with him, the only family you have left, but does he see you as family? Doesn't look like it. Mad because he's taking advantage of you and you let him. Please force a sale. If he really loves you this shouldn't ruin your relationship. If it does, well, please break this toxic bond. The love you have for him is not reciprocated. You are the asshole if you don't put yourself first for once and please stop enabling this mooch.